That's right. I'm not afraid, and neither should you. Some of the students of Yalla's primary school reminding us not to be afraid, no matter the circumstances. And today being observed as World Mental Health and World Homeless Day makes it even more fitting. Let's make it our point of duty to look out for one another, as mental health is a universal human right. Hi there, everyone. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and of course, you're inside Jamaica Magazine. We'll bring you the news, but first, take note of this important message.
Check on your strong friends. Having gone through postpartum depression after having my daughter, I know what mental illness can be like.
You may be the one to provide someone with a haven.
Very much true, because like she said, you don't know what people are going through. It's also important to know within yourself what's going on, because you yourself know you better than anyone else could possibly know you.
Being able to be your true self is one of the strongest components of good mental health. You can whisper how you feel, or you can shout it out loud, but in whatever you do, if you need help, say something.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, October 10, 2023. $6 million have been allocated for emergency drain cleaning in Falmouth, Trelawney, as the country remains on high alert to contain the dengue outbreak. Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, announced the figure during a visit to the parish on Friday. He was there to examine issues relating to parochial roads, indigent housing, street lighting, and rural electrification, among other services in several communities. Emphasizing the urgency of the dengue situation, Minister McKenzie says the government is responding with the necessary resources and partnerships to control the outbreak.
We're going to be moving expeditiously to address the problems affecting the garbage collections. The National Solid Waste Management Authority is here. We have already made arrangements for some skips to be placed at strategic location in the constituency based on the tour that we have seen, and already work have started by the National Solid Waste Management Authority to deal with the backlog of garbage in the area.
Still in Trelawney, approximately 300 farmers in Clarkstown now have access to greater distribution of water supply from a newly commissioned irrigation system. Spearheaded by the National Irrigation Commission, NIC, the $35 million system includes a new pumping station, ramp, and water truck. It was commissioned on Thursday by Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. He says the system will ensure farmers spread across 5,000 acres of land have the level of water supply needed in times of drought.
We are looking at medium and longer term plans. So we have already started to look at how can we design an appropriate irrigation system that can move water from here actually to your farms. Because again, that will still reduce the cost for you and make you much more efficient. And that is work in progress.
Board Chairman of the NIC, Nigel Myrie, adds that there are plans to expand the Braco irrigation system in the parish to include lands in Long Pond.
In the medium to long term, the NIC will complete the design and ultimately secure funding to build out a modern irrigation system in the area. Already the area is being assessed to inform a submission to expand the boundary of the Braco irrigation district to include these Long Pond lands.
As part of the irrigation thrust for the parish, the NIC will also distribute 20 irrigation kits to farmers in partnership with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. Each package will include 2 rolls of drip irrigation hose and a 1,000-gallon water tank. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has charged the Jamaica Information Service JIS to continue to be the source of factual information that is in the public interest. He says the agency must ensure that where there is a deliberate attempt to mislead the public by spreading false information, the facts are presented. The Prime Minister was addressing the JIS's strategic planning session for fiscal years 2024 to 2028.
So JIS's role is to make sure that the Jamaican public has timely access to accurate information that can be used for national development. JIS should ensure that the public has a definitive and integrous standard of information on which they can rely.
Mr. Holness charged the agency to be the gold standard for information in its operations, providing unbiased and non-partisan information. The Prime Minister asserts that the role of the JIS is even more crucial now, when unverified, unvetted, and unregulated information exists in the public domain that could pose a threat to democracy.
A small country like Jamaica can't take it for granted that this open media space, this open flow of information, does not have an impact on our institutions and the way in which our people think and behave, their outlook, their mood, their aspirations, how it changes our value system. And as a government, we have to be concerned about that.
Mr. Holness says one way to treat with the issue is for the JIS to ensure it has a geographical and demographic footprint to reach local markets and provide information that is relevant to all age groups and socioeconomic strata of society. The JIS currently has offices in Kingston and Montego Bay. A $50 million budget is in place to establish another regional office in St. Thomas. The Ministry of Transport is tightening its grip on the high level of indiscipline by operators of public passenger vehicles with the launch of Operation Transportation Streamline. The island-wide operation is in collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, the Transport Authority, and the Island Traffic Authority. Portfolio Minister Darrell Vaz toured sections of the corporate area yesterday for the rollout. He also engaged with taxi and bus operators to better understand the challenges and opportunities faced by the industry. Minister Vaz says the government will take a zero-tolerance approach towards indiscipline in the sector.
The PPV transportation stakeholders are getting a bad name because of what transpires on the road on a daily basis, the indiscipline. But the fact is that it is the drivers and not the taxi itself that is creating the problem. And that is why you will be hearing more about the drivers' registry that the Transport Authority will be putting together, which is going to create a pool of licensed PPV drivers whom are in good standing.
Minister Vaz says the drivers' registry will give transport stakeholders the leverage to choose responsible drivers to operate their vehicles. Head of the JCF's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, provided an update on the operation.
So far, we have issued some 190 traffic tickets. We have seized 10 vehicles and we have made 7 arrests by way of execution of warrants.
Minister Vaz says the program will be reviewed after 1 month to make the necessary adjustments. Heart, NSTA Trust and UNICEF have targeted approximately 13,500 at-risk youth for skills training that will facilitate employment. Both agencies signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU recently for the undertaking to be done through UNICEF's Fundu program. Fundu is a chat-based U-Report initiative that seeks to place real-world life skills at the fingertips of children and youth to help them excel in work, at school, and beyond. The program is available on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram Messenger to facilitate fun, engaging, and self-paced learning using accessible technology. The 5 components of the MOU include career development, tri-skill program, capacity building, trainees participation, and monitoring. Under the agreement, HEART will provide training content and manuals that will be used by UNICEF to create Fundu courses. HEART will also promote Fundu to new and existing trainees and will monitor the progress of participants who enter the program or transition to employment. Meanwhile, UNICEF will provide training for HEART NSTA instructors and give participants access to mental health services through its U-Report initiative. Heads of both entities view the partnership as another initiative to empower and provide meaningful opportunities for Jamaica's youth. And finally, the National Water Commission (NWC) has lifted its water restrictions that were imposed under the Prohibition Order. The restriction was part of the response to the meteorological drought-like condition that was affecting sections of the island for several months. The NWC says recent rainfall has improved water levels at the main storage reservoirs, making the restriction no longer warranted. As of October 9, the Hermitage Dam is at 100% capacity, while the Mona Reservoir is at 70.3%. The NWC says this represents a significant increase compared to last month, when both systems were reporting storage levels of just over 30%. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Hope in action. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, through the Poor Relief Department, has set out to provide and create safe spaces for homeless individuals in our communities. Watch now as we bring you along to see how we have been creating change.
Homelessness is a pressing issue that affects communities worldwide. The realities faced by individuals and families are complex, with varying factors contributing to the crisis. The homeless population in Jamaica is approximately 2,000 persons, and efforts are being made by the government to provide essential support and create lasting solutions. This is being carried out by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development through the Poor Relief Department. Targeted support services to the homeless include night shelters and drop-in centers located across the island.
So at the Poor Relief Department, we serve the persons who are those that are considered to be the most vulnerable of the society, and by that I mean persons who are without a means of subsistence, persons who cannot afford to take care of themselves financially. They are not able to provide a roof over their head. They are not able to provide shelter. They are not able to provide their own medication.
On a daily basis, we serve up to 35, 40 persons. We have more males coming in than females, so you will find maybe about 25 males for the day. They are able to get breakfast, lunch, and of course supper. They're able to take a bath, change of clothing, and of course we have recreational activities also for the days.
Presently, we have about 45 persons on the homeless program in the Port Antonio area district. In the town of Port Antonio, they have different areas that we can find them. We call those areas hotspots. And we also service Buff Bay street persons.
We have street feeding as well. So you'll have the poor relief officers who will go out on the streets and they will look for the persons there, because sometimes you will find them in a little corner. Sometimes you will find them at the bus park. So they will go out, give them a meal, a word of encouragement for the day.
Also, in collaboration with the health center, once per week, personnel from the health center visits the rehab center where they medicate residents and give medical checkups.
There are 11 drop-in centers across the island, and persons can simply walk in to access the services. As for night shelters, there are 2 in Kingston: the Marie Atkins Night Shelter and the Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center for the Homeless. You can also find night shelters in Outer Rios, Falmouth, Westmoreland, St. James, and Manchester. These facilities offer meals and nightly accommodations to persons in need. Work is being done to increase the number of these facilities.
So the shelter is going to be for anybody who is on the street. So once you're on the street and you need a place to stay for the night, you can come in.
That is something that we are looking forward to, in that we would have more facilities, we would be better able to serve these people that we really are responsible for, because now with the drop-in center we'll be able to provide more facilities for them. We probably at some point will be able to have a social worker coming in, at some point we'll be able to have a doctor.
To foster encouragement, hope, and a sense of belonging, homeless persons who use the facilities are engaged in different activities.
We have 3 days for the week that we have specifically for recreational activities. On a Monday, it is educational day. So persons must come in and learn something, whether it's a word or anything that is educational. On a Monday, they will learn that. On a Wednesday, it is games day. We have where they play dominoes, football, any form of games. We have persons on the outside who will come in, like Moon Palace Foundation, Sandals, and will also play games with them. So this will make them feel like they are still a part of society.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
It's time again for the JIS Heritage Essay Competition. Are you a primary school student? Write a 400 to 500 word essay responding to the question, should Jamaica remain under the British monarchy or become a full republic? And win lots of prizes. Visit jis.gov.jm for competition guidelines. Registration opens October 1 and closes October 31. The JIS Heritage Essay Competition 2023. Enter today.
Many people are suffering, whether it is by choice or not. I don't believe anyone would choose to do that. But despite my opinions, it is a harsh reality. Homelessness affects almost, if not all, countries known to man. And it is up to us as a people to unite and be the change we want to see. It takes one person to start, then the rest will follow. Here are the testimonies of individuals whose lives have been changed through the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development and its partners.
Behind these images are stories. Stories that are unique to each individual, but an outcome that is common to many. That is, being faced with the situation of no resources to provide the security of food and shelter. We share the inspiring stories of individuals whose lives have been transformed through proactive measures undertaken by the government, reflecting the promise of hope and the power of collective action.
My story started back in 2019 when I was on my feet, having my own apartment, my car, and working while going to school. I was doing fine until COVID happened.
I lost my job and I was at home for a bit of time trying to source another job. But I had a bit of difficulty trying to find additional jobs due to the fact that I didn't have really my documentations because they were destroyed.
When COVID happened, I was at my job, which restructured, so I had to gain different employment. It took me a while to get some employment, but my new employment couldn't cover my bills. I got really depressed and I ended up in the hospital where I received some treatment for my depression.
I was walking on the street after being kicked out. Eventually, a gentleman saw me on the street. He listened to my story and advised me to go to the police station. And then he eventually brought me to the shelter.
Being homeless is a frightening and life-changing experience, but the bright side is knowing that help is available. For many, like Miss X and Mr. B, they are able to access the services of the Poor Relief Department. It's an agency of the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development that has responsibility to assist the destitute and alleviate poverty at the parish level. The Poor Relief Department provides several programs that are offered through the 13 municipal corporations across the island. Among them are night shelters and drop-in centers to cater to a growing homeless and destitute population.
The shelter has come in handy for me on a daily basis because a lot of times I don't have a meal or a place to shower or, change your clothes.
The homeless and the mentally challenged, as well as the destitute poor, they are able to come in, have a bath, change their clothing. Sometimes we do a bit of counseling. Sometimes they just need somebody to talk to. So they will come in and talk to us. They are able to get breakfast, lunch, and of course supper.
When persons come to be groomed, the personnel from the health center will come and on the same day would give them their medication on spot.
There is also the Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center for the Homeless.
The objective of the center is to reduce homelessness across the municipality. It's also to empower our service users through motivational strategies. It's also to reintegrate individuals back into society and to restore normalcy. Then we try to get these individuals to set goals, and when they set these goals, we monitor them. We assist them, we liaison with other agencies, other stakeholders.
It is these and other services being offered that continue to make a significant impact on the lives of the clients being served through the Poor Relief Program.
The shelter was really impactful on me due to the fact that, one, it had allowed me to have somewhere to sleep, that's one. Additionally, it also helped in assisting me to figure out my next steps and my plans and create some short-term goals in order to achieve what I want to achieve, which is pretty much independence for myself, just to be able to survive and function like a regular person.
I'm really grateful for the Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center for the Homeless because when I was at my worst, I got safety and protection while being, fed and supported. When I came here, I was almost finished with school and I got supported by the staff here, and also I gained different employment.
They advised me of the jobs here in the area, and I eventually landed that job. They assisted me with bus fares, and when I come home from work, there's always food saved for me. So it has really impacted me in a way where I would say that it's beneficial in terms of helping me get back on my feet.
We want our children to understand the importance of physical activity. Based on our Jamaica Lifestyle Survey, 82% is in low-level activity, meaning we're just doing enough to survive. And only 16% is in moderate and 2% in high-level intensity. So we want to get more persons in moderate and vigorous activity. And so we want to encourage them to be more active so that they can get a lot of benefits. Increase academics performance, reduce stress, reduce weight loss, beautiful skin, help you to sleep better. We want it to be more active so that we can have a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Remember, mental health is a universal human right. Let us continue to provide love, compassion, and support to those who are struggling. This is where our program ends for today, but be sure to join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, to learn much more. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.